The phones are open at 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Did you notice this show's on the air? We're not shut down. But we don't have any debt. And we have savings. And we live within our means. So we're here today to help you. And we're going to continue to do that. The phone lines work. The electricity is on. It's not a miracle. It's a mathematical process. It's called a budget. It's called living on less than you make and staying out of debt. It stabilizes your life, stabilizes your business. Oh, and by the way, it would stabilize your country if you could get around to it and you wouldn't be shut down. Very sad day for those of you that work for the federal government, and I am going to do anything I can to help you, because I know a lot of you are scared and a lot of you are struggling. What are you going to do? Because your paycheck just got shut off. And, poking fun at you or picking on you in some ways is not something we're going to do here. We're going to help you because a lot of you are in a messed up situation. And the longer this goes, the harder it's going to be on you. I hope for the sake of the federal government employee that it doesn't go very long. Just as a person to person kind of a comment. But I will tell you this. Let's say, it runs out to whatever, Friday or something, and then you go back to work, and it really mathematically is not going to have a ton of effect on your life. All it did is scare the crap out of you. And I'll tell you, that could be a good thing for you. Because it could, one federal government employee tweeted this morning that he was completely debt-free, house and everything, has his emergency fund in place, and so not happy about being shut down and shut out, but not panicking because he's in good shape. Why? Because he decided to get in good shape a few years ago. So maybe this becomes your wake-up call for some of you that I've had bad things happen to me, and it became my wake-up call. And so that's not to pick on you. That's just to say there's some good that can come out of this, especially if it's just a little short blip, and then, boom, you're right back to work. And then you go, whoa, that scared the crap out of me. I don't ever want to be there again. I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to have an emergency fund. I'm going to live on less than I make. I'm going to live on a budget. So if this continued problem with the government, then I'm not going to get in a mess that I can't survive because the thing might be longer next time. And I don't know how long it's going to be this time. I don't have any idea. But I do know, and you do know, that it is this thing this problem with people not doing math in Washington, D.C. is coming to a head now. And I hope that we, the people, all of us, experience enough pain that we look at this and we say, there's a lot of things that government is trying to do that are good things. It usually does them poorly, but they're trying to do some good things. That doesn't matter if you can't afford it. If you get paid on Friday and you take all of your money and you give it to a person who's struggling and hurting because you're a sweethearted person, and then next week your car gets repoed, means you helped somebody, but you couldn't afford to help somebody. And that's really where the federal government budget is at this stage of the game. Well, we have a moral obligation. I don't give a rip about your moral obligation. I mean, you can be a liberal or you can be a conservative, but you're not exempt from math in either case. You can be a Democrat or a Republican, but you're not exempt from math. Well, the government is not infinite. There's a tipping point in the math, and we're approaching it. And these kinds of things are going to happen more and more and more. It's going to become more and more unstable as the overspending and the increase in the debt continues. And I kind of thought maybe this was just and it may be for some of the Republicans, a strategic chess move to throw the Obamacare discussion in there. But really, when you look at Obamacare, which went into force today, the truth is that you are either going to have your employer pay for your health care, or you are going to go to one of the exchanges and receive a generic substandard government program, or you're going to buy in the open market. Now, in the open market, as of January 1st, all health insurance companies are required to accept everyone regardless of pre-existing conditions. Now, surely you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that when your health insurance company now has to take people that have 3 months to live with cancer, they now have to take people who have had 7 heart attacks, they now have to take people who, whatever the health indicator is of extreme expense, and they have to take them, one of two things is going to occur mathematically with your health insurance company. Either it's going to go broke, or they're going to double your premiums because they have to pay for all that crap. Again, this isn't a political thing, it's a math thing. And the problem is that in the name of doing something that someone believed was a moral initiative or a moral imperative, that people quit doing math. And that's really on both sides of the aisle, but in this case, it's the president. And I appreciate that he has a heart to help hurting people. I hope that that's at the center of this. I don't know if it is. I don't know him. But that doesn't even matter. Well, what about the people who can't get health care, Dave? It's just unfair. I understand. But what you're going to do here is you are, in order to fix that problem, you're going to break the existing healthcare system. And if the goal is to nationalize healthcare and completely socialize it, I think this will do it. Because I don't think any of the existing healthcare companies are probably going to, the health insurance companies are going to survive long term under this. Because they're forced to take anybody and everybody, and they're forced to compete with a government program that's substandard. And so you can buy a nice home, in other words, but now you're going to pay double for it, or you can live in government-subsidized housing, or your employer is going to furnish your housing. This is the new housing program they just came out with. It sounds a lot like communism, really, at its core, because now you are told that you will buy health insurance, or you will be given a penalty. You will buy health insurance. It is mandatory. The government has now mandated it. Now, I think buying health insurance is a really good idea. But the lack of freedom and the level of force that is in this thing is absolutely amazing. So it is part of the government shutdown discussion. It wasn't just a tactical move because it's so freaking expensive. And we really do have to stop spending money we don't have. Meantime, if you're a federal government employee and you need some help, some advice, that is, you give me a yell, I'll help you any way I can, because I know you're scared and you're hurting today. And hopefully this will be short for your sake, and it'll be your wake-up call where you're never facing this again.